She did walk the second hitter, but she reached 2-strike count on Statler as well before the walk. So Statler advances to third. On first base is Tyree. That's Hannah Tyree. Haley Tyree was the leadoff hitter that just scored. And up now is the offensive hero yesterday for Eastern Oregon. This is Gail's Underwood. She had 3 hits in the first game, a 3-run homer in the first inning. I hate to say it, but there's 2 runners on now, so we don't want a deja vu if we're UBC fans. Strike on the outside corner. The runner does go, and I think she got her on the shoulder. Yes, she did. A brilliant throw by Gabby Darvell and a super catch by Kiana Nordquist on the run. Caught it in the air and just swept back and got the shoulder of the sliding runner. So there's a bonus for UBC that they can capitalize on. 1 out now. The runner from third chose not to go. A lot of times when the throw goes through on a stealing runner and there's a runner on third, the runner on third will break once the throw passes the pitcher. But again, Eastern Oregon playing it very conservative. So Gail's Leatherwood at the plate now with just a runner on third and now 1 out. Just low for a ball, but that's a good place to throw that ball. She's not a very quick runner, and the lower you keep it, the less chance she's going to hit another ball out of Collings Field. So at the knees is where the cheese has to be. Lindsay Bell for a pitch. There's a soft little line drive to third base, almost a double play, but the runner was called out. She got off the base, and what a break for UBC. Lindsay Bell gets out of the jam. First of all, by freezing the hitter with just a soft, mild line drive to third. And UBC's third baseman, Shay Seaver, caught it and stepped on the base just a half step before the runner on third, who was Maddie Statler, got picked. She, on any ball hit in the air with less than 2 out, you always tag up. And she was slow getting back to the base. So UBC gets away with allowing just 1 run that inning on a pair of hits, and goes into their half of the first inning down 1-0. It looked a lot more dangerous when there was runners on second and third with nobody out. The 3-hitter, Hannah Tyree, singled to score 1 run. The coach held up Maddie Statler at third base, and that turned out to be a penalty. Her conservatism, because the next out was recorded on a stolen base. That, again, they stayed conservative and didn't try to double steal. And then with that soft line drive landing right into the glove of Shay Seaver, and she was just about 6 inches from the base, stepped on it before the runner was able to get back. Big break for UBC. And speaking of the home team, the T-Birds leadoff hitter today will be Caitlin Bradley-C. She's having a marvelous year so far. Batting .327, 17 for 52. She has the most at-bats on the team, and yet a leadoff hitter has not drawn 1 walk, I noticed in looking at the stats. That's highly unusual because leadoff hitters are usually batters that like to take pictures, give the rest of the hitters a look at what the defensive pitcher has in her first at-bat of the game, but she's up there to swing that bat, obviously, with 52 at-bats and not even 1 base on balls. She's only struck out 6 times out of the 52, so she's a gal that puts the ball in play, and she's 12 for 41. Excuse me, she is 17 for 52, garnering her that .327 average. Bradley C. is from Richmond, BC. Went to McLennan Community College High School, studying arts here at UBC. The left-hander squares up against the left-handed pitcher. She slices one, hit hard but directly at True Merriman, the third baseman for Eastern Oregon. She was playing in as well. She was watching that bunt, and luckily she had the glove in front of her face, as that's exactly where the ball was hit. So good at bat, but no result for leadoff hitter Bradley C. Coming in now is Hannah Hansen, UBC's right fielder. Kaylee Hoskins threw the first game and got the win yesterday, throwing 5 innings. She struck out 6 and only allowed 3 hits. Outside corner, a little more generous strike zone this half of the inning. I thought she was a little tight last inning, or the top of the first, but it wasn't the umpires doing that they got a run, so no harm. High and outside for ball 2. Hannah Hansen is batting 10 for 32, another 300 hitter, 313 batting average, 9 ribbies, 2 triples. She's also drawn 11 walks this year. She's got a good eye. Good hard fastball. Seems to be the bread and butter pitch of Kaylee Hoskins. Count is now 2-2. The right-hander up on her top left toe. And that batting stance outside, ball 3. Nobody else has double digits in walks other than Hannah Hansen, so she has a good eye. And here she is with a chance to get on base with a full count, but anything close, she's going to be swinging. Strike 3 on the batter. It was on the outside corner, but Hansen could not take that pitch. If umpire calls you out, I never liked it when hitters come back to the dugout blaming the umpire on strike 3. If it's close enough that the umpire did even make a mistake, it was too close for you to be taking that pitch. And now batting third for the Thunderbirds is Keona Nordquist, the shortstop. Takes strike 1. The thing I like about Kaylee Hoskins for your Eastern Oregon, she wastes no time. She could pitch in the major leagues because that pitch clock would not be affecting her. She's always ready to go before the hitter even is ready. Change up on the outside corner. That makes it a 1-1 count. Nordquist is batting .390, highest batting average on UBC. She's 16 for 41. 5 doubles. Swing and a miss on an outside pitch. They seem to be sticking to that corner for her, perhaps based on what they saw yesterday as a hitter. 1-2 count now. Nobody on with 2 out in the bottom of the first inning. Notice where the ball is with the pitcher, Kaylee Hoskins. She just has it on her wrist against her side until she goes to actually pitch the ball. She gets it back, and then she kind of rests the ball between her left wrist and her left thigh. And then she gets the call from the catcher, and then she chooses her grip, hides it in the glove, and here goes with 2-2 count. Fly ball to right field. It's being called by Addison Rabordi. It's easily caught, and the UBC Thunderbirds go down 1-2-3 in the bottom of the first inning. After 1, the Eastern Oregon Mounties have 1 run, and the UBC Thunderbirds have not scored yet.
Well, I did have an internet failure, and we actually lost the feed for a while, and I was able to get it back up and running. So the top half of the first inning was
okay, well, let's go through what happened. Just in case you just tuned in, or just in case you lost a bit on the feed, this is Thomas Bell Productions here. My goodness, he's got cameras all over the park. He's here hours before the ball game. He's got more wires than I don't know, Bell Telephone, and but it all works very well. Today's windy and cold, but the sun is now out and it's no longer raining. That's the main thing. If you didn't hear earlier, today's doubleheader has been changed. It began with a 12 o'clock start, and they're only going to play the one game, the conference game, and they will not play the second game that was scheduled, which is more or less of an exhibition game. But while the teams are making these long road trips, why not get action for all of the players? In the top half of the first inning, Eastern Oregon jumped up to a real threat. Haley Tyree singled up the middle, followed by a walk to Maddie Statler. Statler stole second, and Hannah Tyree, she hit a single up the middle as well to score her sister and put runners at second and third after she attempted to steal. She was thrown out, and the runner stayed at third, and then a line drive to UBC's third baseman, Shea Seaver, caught and stepped on the base for the double play to erase the potential run at third. So they got away with giving up just one run. In the bottom of the first, in case you missed it, UBC's at bat Caitlin Bradley T lined out to the third baseman, followed by Hannah Hansen striking out. There's the grounder to second base, thrown out at first, and back to the bottom of the first. Kiana Norquist flew out to right field. Now to lead off the top of the second inning, you're Eastern Oregon with a 1-0 lead. Remember, that was Addison Ribordi that grounded out to second baseman Caitlin Kim with the relay over to Caitlin Eng. Left-handed hitter at the plate now. This is Kaysen Zarazoga, second baseman for Eastern Oregon. Lindsay Bell gets that leadoff hitter, which, you know, if you look at stats in baseball and softball, when the leadoff hitter gets out, the batting averages of the teams goes down and the chance of scoring is much down. If the leadoff hitter gets on, they wind up scoring about half the time in both sports. So Lindsay gets the leadoff on a ground out, using that defense a little bit high. Now the umpire seems to have settled on a broader strike zone, which is a good idea for a cold day anytime. Tough on the hitters, because when you don't hit it square, it stings the hands, of course. But that was a belt-high strike call for a 1-1 count. Attempted bunt, and maybe she pulled back in time, and she did, so it'll be a ball. She showed bunt, was going to bunt, but then when it was high and inside, she just able to pull her bat back in time, making a 2-1 count on Kaysen Zarazoga. Ooh, that looked good, but it was called a ball. Didn't even look at the knees. It looked above the knees. Maybe it was outside. I don't have exact angle from behind the plate. And I'm sounding like a homer, but I tell it like it is. I'd say the same if the uniforms were changed on that pitch. Lindsay Bell now with a 3-1 count. Got to throw a strike, and she does. That ball's fouled off to the left side. If the fencing wasn't there, it would have landed on Westbrook Avenue. Collings Field at Nobel Park is on Westbrook Avenue. It's in a lovely area. It's a place where you want to retire. Beautiful apartment buildings. There's a large, long apartment building all the way from the backstop down to the right field line. 6 stories high. People out on their balconies watching the game. The beautiful tree line in the outfield. It's a natural hitter's eye. 3-2 count, fouled off again. So Kaysen Zarazoga putting up a battle here. Fouled off a couple, so Lindsay Bell has thrown her 4 strikes so far, but of course the last 2 were foul balls, so her at-bat stays intact. Bell coming at her again with a full count. It was high, but she fouled it off. A little too close. She didn't want to take a pitch and have that chance of being called out, so she's taking the approach where she's going to swing at anything close. The leadoff hitter this top of the second inning, Addison Ribordi, grounded out to Caitlin Kim at second base. Relay over to Caitlin Eng at first for UBC. Sun now is starting to hide a little bit, and when the sun goes away, it feels like it goes down about 5 degrees Celsius. And the grounder to short. Oh, it was just bobbled. It's going to be too late. No sense making the throw. Kiana Norquist, it took kind of a high hop, but she wound up catching the ball in the heel of her glove, not in the pocket, and she had a hard time transferring for the throw, so she didn't waste time making a throw, and therefore not making a bad throw, maybe giving the runner a second base on an overthrow or something. So she was wise after the heel of the glove caused her to fumble the transition not to throw the ball at all. There's a pop-up. That's going to wind up foul. At the plate now is Haley Ebner, number 20. She plays first base for Eastern Oregon. First is Zarazoga. Zarazoga had a pair of stolen bases yesterday. With a 1-strike count here, I would expect her to try to run a very likely base stealing time. Grounder to third. That bat was broken in half. How about that? Force out at second. And the runner is safe at first. Boy, you don't see that very often with aluminum bats. I don't see any racket balls or cork squeaking out of the other half of the bat, but that happens sometimes. How about that? A broken bat on a line drive. Good play, good focus by UBC third baseman Shea Seaver to get the leadoff hitter. Caitlin Kim was waiting at second base and just got the runner by a hair, so that keeps Eastern Oregon without a runner in scoring position. That's Haley Ebner on first now with a fielder's choice. And Kelly Monahan now, the 8th hitter, number 7, is up for Eastern Oregon. Runner on first. That's Kelly Monahan. Not a real stealing threat, so it should cost Eastern Oregon 2 hits if they want to score this inning. Low. Throw back to first. No, almost. Ebner thought about taking off there when the ball was blocked by catcher Gabby Dorval. With 2 out, that's not a bad idea, but if he hesitates, then it's definitely a good idea to stop that bad idea. Swing and a miss, Bell. That was her unquestionably hardest pitch of the game. Right at the knees, perfect strike, making the count. 1 ball and 2 strikes. You probably see something soft here from Bell. She's come with hard stuff so far in the at-bat. See if she changes up. Just took a little something off her fastball, and it was outside, making the count 2-2. This is Kelly Monahan at the plate for the Mounties. On first is Haley Ebner. 2 outs here in the top of the 2nd inning. Eastern Oregon ahead, 1-0. High, that'll be a full count. And that will set Haley Ebner off and running since there are 2 outs. So the infielders remind themselves on a ground ball, don't think about second base, make the throw to first because the runner on first is going to steal no matter what. There she goes, and it's popped up, and that's going to be a foul ball. Everybody returns to where they were. A lot of noise here at Collings Field at Nobel Park in Vancouver on Westbrook Avenue. Beautiful setting. A very chilly day. Long sleeves are required for sure. And a line drive just over the second baseman's head. It's scooped by the center fielder. The runners will not advance any more than just 60 feet, so no real harm done. Caitlin Kinn, the second baseman, leapt for that with perfect timing, but at her apex, she was still about 6 inches under the ball, so it went over, and the center fielder, that was Caitlin Bradley Tay, who scooped that up and got it in quick, so the runner could not go to third, even though she was stealing on the pitch. So there's an advantage for UBC with their defense helping themselves out. And up for Eastern Oregon is the 9-hitter. This is True Merriman, their third baseman. Merriman, check swing, but it's called a strike. I think she not only went around too far to check her swing, but also I think it was on that outside corner. Eastern Oregon Mounties, runners on first and second, 2 out here, bottom of the 2nd inning. Low, ball 1, that's a 1-1 count. Time's called. Gabby Dorval's going to trot out and have a little chat with Lindsay Bell. That was a changeup in the dirt. She might have had their signals crossed on that one, so they're just making sure they know what's what. Also, with a runner on second base, I think she was transferring the pitch to the batter. You saw her name is Haley Ebner. You saw her wave her left hand, and she showed all 5 fingers. And usually multi-fingers are telling the batter, hey, there's a soft pitch coming up, and it was a changeup. So the hitter obviously picked it up, and Gabby Dorval wisely changes the sign. So now Gabby will give 3 signals, and it'll be the second one or the third one or the one after the fastball signal, that type of a thing. Something so that the second base runner cannot tell the hitter what's coming. And that's fine in baseball and softball to do that. Different story if you're the Houston Astros robbing a World Series by cheating electronically and transferring signals, but I'll stop right there on that opinion. This is clean baseball. If you're going to tell the batter the signs, then good for the defense, for the offense for picking it up. And then good on Gabby Dorval for noticing it and running out and changing the sequence of pitches. Sometimes they'll say, okay, let's make 2 a fastball and 1 a curveball, or sometimes she'll flash 3 signs and it'll be the 3rd one, things like that. There's no transfer of signals now. Runners on first and second, 2-2 count. Swing and a miss. Excuse me, there's a 2-1 count. That makes it 2-2 now to True Merriman. That's a full count according to the umpire, so that means the runners will be on the move. Full count, 2 outs. Big pitch here, biggest pitch of the game probably for Lindsay Bell right now. And strike 3. She gets out of the jam. Challenging the hitter with a beautiful fastball up near the belt, and the hitter just couldn't get her bat up to catch up to the speed of Lindsay Bell's fastball. So UBC has a scoreless inning as Oregon leaves 2 runners on base, scoring no runs on just a hit. They reached on an error and then a fielder's choice, and then Kelly Monahan had the one-line drive to center field in that inning. Lindsay Bell really answers the bell right on there, because being down 1 to a team that is higher than you in the standings means nothing in softball. Being down 3 or 4, those crooked numbers, that's where it gets tough to come back, especially on a day where it's going to be the advantage to the pitcher because of the cold weather and the sting on batters' hands. There is some disadvantage to the pitcher, of course, because you can't get those pitch grips in the cold weather that you get when it's warm. Hand kind of sticks to the ball when it's warm, and you get better movement on the ball. So disadvantage to both, but I say bigger disadvantage to hitters. They're always thinking about the sting of that aluminum bat on their hands. So we go to the bottom half of the second inning. Up to the plate for the Thunderbirds will be Seaver Shea, followed by Caitlin Kim, and then Shelby Kemple. I just heard the announcer call Shea Sever. Thomas, can you tell me? Is it Sever? Okay. I've been calling her Shea Seaver. My bad. Error on the scoreboard to Tommy V. I'll take that. Got to own your actions. All right, Shea Sever. Let's see what you can do with the plate to lead off the bottom of the second. Left-hander, Kaylee Hoskins. So it's the left-hander, Shea Sever, and that's ball 1. Shea Sever at a .390 batting pace, 16 for 41, tied for the best average on the team. Got 7 doubles this year as well. And a triple to add to that. 9 walks, 14 RBI, most on the team. And that's what you'd expect from a number 4 hitter. She's got a lot of people getting on base in front of her these games so far this year. Another high one. Count is 2-1 now on UBC's leadoff hitter here in the second inning. That ball's fouled on the left side, a little bit behind on the fastball. She's telling herself, get the knob, get the hands through, and then the bat. Like, you want to break your wrists as the last thing you do, and you're like, in a swing, you load and then you launch. But the launch has 3 parts to it, even though it's a fraction of a second. The trunk leads everything. The arms follow the trunk, and then finally the wrists break at the point of contact. And that is a called strike 3, inside corner and at the knees. A very generous strike, but at the same time, with 2 strikes, if the ump's got a wide zone, you got to put the bat on the ball somehow. Tough at bat for Shea Sever there. That was a really questionable pitch. She didn't like the call, but she'll know next time. She's an experienced hitter. Caitlin Kim is at the plate now. Chases a high one. Well-placed pitch. She was not going to do anything with that, even if she did make contact. It was up above the letters. It would have been a pop-out if she got a piece of the bat on it. Caitlin Kim. Initials you don't want if you're a softball hitter. That's KK, and K's in baseball means strikeouts. But she's not a KK. She's having a tremendous year, to be honest. Caitlin Kim is batting right around 200. She's got 6 ribbies. And I'll tell you what, she's got that's Caitlin Eng. Sorry, Caitlin Kim is having a little bit better of a season than that. She is batting .293. 12 for 41 with a homer, a double, 4 walks, and 11 RBI. If you were going to use a UBC player in the starting lineup today to teach a kid how to hit, and you wanted to mimic someone's swing, I would pick Caitlin Kim's swing. Mechanically, it's just about perfect. Nothing moves that shouldn't move. The parts that do move don't move in exaggeration. They move just as they should. She gets her bat head into the plane of the pitch early. She does just about everything right mechanically. She's got a quick bat. She's strong on top of that. That's the number one quality of a good hitter, is strength. There's no substitute for strength and the ability to generate bat speed. But there's also mechanics that lead to that. Some people have long swings. Some people have a bad sequence. Some people don't load before they launch, etc., etc. She's got it down. She reminds me of Chase Utley, the former major leaguer. Nice level swing, but she chased another high one. Good sequence by the catcher and pitcher. The catcher is Hannah Tyree, and the pitcher is Kaylee Hoskins for Eastern Oregon. And they remembered what Caitlin Kidd did on that first swing. She chased the pitch at the letters, and they went back to that and got a strikeout on the same type of approach. Caitlin Kim is from Ontario, as is Mia Volkan, as is Shelby Kemple, who's now at the plate. Shelby and Mia Volk played on the same team, the Waterloo Ghosts, a national champion, a national finalist for 3 of their 4 years, playing at that level, coached by the tremendous gentleman Trent Hilpert, whose daughter Avery played for UBC for 4 years. She just was a senior that graduated last year. She's sorely missed on the team, but boy, can Trent Hilpert coach softball and can he produce elite ball players. These three all came to UBC, the best program in the country, from the Waterloo Ghosts program. Trent, if you're out there, way to go. Shelby and Chase Seaver. Lindsay Bell, the pitcher, doesn't get to bat that much, but Shelby and Shea Sever are like Shohei Ohtani. They're power hitters and they're very good pitchers. Shelby has now 2 balls, 2 strikes. Low one away. Shelby does not want to give Kaylee Hoskins 3 strikeouts in the same inning. She wants to put the ball in play somewhere. And she foul ticks it, but into the catcher's mitt. Therefore, that is strike 3. What an inning for Kaylee Hoskins, who picked up the win in the first game of the doubleheader yesterday and strikes out the side of UBC here in the bottom of the second. Also, UBC likes to get through the order and score runs later in the game, has a tendency to do that. They like a look at the pitcher pretty well, and we'll see how they do the second time through. We still have Dorval, Bashua, and Eng to bat for the first time. They'll hit in the bottom of the third inning. If you've just joined us, I'll give you a quick review of what has happened so far. The score is 1-0 now. We're entering the top of the third. And as they did yesterday, Eastern Oregon poured it on early in the first inning, but UBC rescued themselves. Haley Tyree began the game with a single to center field. Maddie Statler followed with a walk. Well, Hannah Tyree then hit a ground ball up the middle to score Haley Tyree and make the score 1-0. And with runners on first and third. Well, the runner on first, Hannah Tyree, was thrown out stealing. And Maddie Statler, who did not try to score on the earlier single, also did not try to score on the steal of second, where the runner was thrown out by Gabby Dorval to Kiana Norquist on a fantastic tag by Norquist. Norquist made an error, but made up for that with a great play running across the bag, catching the ball out to her left and then swiping it and just getting the runner's shoulder as she started to slide into the base. And then the inning ended when Gaz Leatherwood, yesterday's hitting hero for Eastern Oregon, lined out to third baseman Shea Sever, and Sever alertly stepped on the bag and got a double play. That's the only run of the game. In the second inning, the second at bat, Eastern Oregon threatened again, but left runners on second and third when Lindsay Bell got a strikeout to finish the inning. Leading off, here's a pop-up. That's going to be catchable over on the first base side, and indeed it is. So Tyree Haley, the leadoff hitter, pops out, to UBC first baseman Caitlin Ng, and a big out for 2 reasons. It's the first out of the inning, and it is a leadoff hitter who scored the first run of the game for Eastern Oregon. So 1 out, Lindsay Bell gets that leadoff hitter, and this brings up Maddie Statler, who drew a walk her first time up. Strike 1 called on Statler. Changeup fools everybody, except the hitter Statler. She took it and got herself a ball. That makes it a 1-1 count. Statler had 3 hits yesterday in the first game. Here's another pop-up called by the pitcher, and good for Lindsay Bell. I don't like it when coaches say to your pitchers, don't you ever catch a pop-up. Let the infielders catch it. That's a very tough play for a catcher, first of all, Gabby Dorvell, or any catcher, when the ball is in fair territory. So you're running out towards the pitcher's mound, yet the ball, due to physics, is on an angle towards the pitcher mound. So you have to get turned around. And Shay Sever from third base wasn't there on time. So Lindsay Bell said, don't worry, guys, I can catch a pop-up. I played baseball. I played softball. I can do that. And she caught it quite easily. So 2 outs on 2 pop-outs to begin the top of the 3rd inning. And at the plate now is number 18. That's Hannah Tyree. She ripped a single up the middle, knocking in the only run of the game so far. And that's how Eastern Oregon is ahead by a score of 1-0.
Dorval looks okay.
Yeah, I think she got one off the toe. So everybody likes to, give catchers and umpires a break. So the umpire will go sweep the plate. The opposing team might call a time and talk to the hitter. What they're subtly doing is giving the catcher a chance to get over that ball she took off her lower leg, maybe your toe.
Batter.
Hannah Tyree, a single the first time up, knocked in the only run of the game for Eastern Oregon. And ahead of that pitch, hammers it down the left field side, makes it 1-1. Swinging and missing a changeup. Lindsay Bell with a 1-2-3 inning, using a soft stuff surprise to get out the 1-2-3 hitters for Eastern Oregon. No runs, no hits, nobody left on base on the 1-2-3 inning. The score after 2.5 is Eastern Oregon Mounties 1, the UBC T-Birds 0, and batting for the T-Birds in this 3rd inning will be the 7, 8, 9 hitters, Gabby Dorvell, Arsh Bashwa, and Caitlin Ng. That's Jennifer McKellar giving her team a talk. Softball teams like to gather before and after every inning, kind of a circle in front of the dugout. That keeps everybody, it keeps the bench players getting up and getting down instead of getting cold and stiff. It keeps the infielders and outfielders in tune with what the pitcher and catcher are doing. It maybe gives a tip about the pitcher who Kaylee Hoskins for the Mounties struck out all 3 UBC batters last inning, so they could have been saying things like, hey, step out, mess up with their timing a little bit, swat a pretend fly, tie a shoe that's really not untied, just kind of maybe change her rhythm a little bit, because she really fell into her rhythm last inning. Gabby Dorvell, the leadoff hitter for UBC, is 9 for 43 this season, gives her a 209 batting average. Now remember, a 209 batting average might not sound as high, but with only 40 at-bats, if you do the mathematics of it, every 40 at-bats, every one of those is worth 25 points. If you were 40 for 40, your average would be 1,000, 40 times 25. So therefore, if Gabby, for example, were to go 3 for 3 today, her batting average would go up about 75 points to 284. So don't get tricked. She puts the bat on the ball well. She's only struck out 4 times all year in those 43 at-bats. She's drawn walks 7 times, hit by a pitch once, adds a double. Knocked in 4 runs so far, having a good season. Likes to hit the ball the other way, just like that. She fouls off to the third base side. She's not a late swinger because her muscle twitches aren't quick. She just likes to watch the pitch as long as she can and make sure it's a strike. So she waits a hair longer, and what's the difference if you hit the ball to the left side or the right side? High and outside for ball 1. Dorval is catching today. She also plays third base. Had a sister that played on this team last year. Went to play south of the border this year. Gabby fouls another one off to that opposite side. It's interesting because she's hit 2 foul balls over there. It's a cold day, hitter's disadvantage, and the center fielder hasn't moved an inch. She's playing dead straight away. I would be playing way over in left center field, and I would have the left fielder playing right down the line on the left field side. That's where she tends to hit the ball, especially with 2 strikes. Fouls it off over that way again. As an outfielder, you got to pay attention to those things. What is the hitter's, what are they doing? What are their tendencies? Even if it's a foul ball, you can learn something from that. Gabby has not pulled the ball yet today. Yet, the right fielder and center fielder are playing in their traditional locations. And there goes the ground ball down the left field line. Left fielder did get over there quickly, so it'll rain us. No, she bobbles the ball. So Gabby will get herself a double. So a defense that didn't alert themselves as well as they could have. The left fielder could have been starting over there earlier and prevented her from getting to second base. That's put the potential tying run on second base with nobody out. Good 2-strikeout bat by Gabby Dorval. Arsh Bajwa's up now. Now, as an 8-hitter, you might think there's a bunt coming up here, but I would not bunt Arsh. She's having a great year offensively. I'd take 3 whacks at a base hit. She squares to bunt, but pulled it back on time. Unlike baseball, softball teams like to advance runners first to second, second to third. 60 foot is a very valuable piece of landscape in this game, and so sometimes they want to get the runner to third so that they can score on a ground ball, score on a sacrifice fly, score on a wild pitch. She's squaring again, and that ball is outside again. It's a 2-0 count. Barshwa is batting .320 this season so far. She's 8 for 25. She's drawn 3 walks. Got a couple of stolen bases. Good swing. I watched her play last year as her first year, and she just seemed to get better every game. Squaring again with, bunted it down the third baseline, and the third baseman, True Merriman, made a very smart play. She looked at the spin on the ball and knew it was going to be spinning, therefore rolling towards the line, so she decided not to field it and take the chance, and she chose wisely. The ball rolled across the line for a foul ball. That's 2 balls, 1 strike on UBC hitter Arsh Bajwa. Squares again, and it's outside. That makes it a 3-1 count. As a pitcher, and Kaylee Hoskins is obviously an accomplished pitcher, the way she did yesterday and so far today, but really, if the team wants to bunt and give you an out, you take it. Just throw it down the middle. Take the bunt. Take the out. And this time it's a perfect bunt down the first baseline and does her job. So Barshwa takes one for the team, advances Gabby Dorval to third base, and the mindset here is there's a left-handed hitter coming up, Caitlin Ng. If she happens to pull it, which is tough against the pitcher with the velocity of Hoskins, but nevertheless, if she pulls the ball, then the game's going to be tied. If she hits a fly ball, the game's going to be tied. If she hits a deep ground ball in the infield, she's going to score. If there's a wild pitch or a passed ball, she's going to score. So that's why Jennifer McKellar called the bunt on that play. Ball 1 to Caitlin Eng. It's not unheard of for Caitlin Eng to bunt either right now, because a bunt would also score the run. And she is bunting. Now it's going to score. No, it's not going to score the run. The runner chose not to advance on that play. Would have been a close play at the plate, no question, but as soon as you see the hitter bunt, traditionally you would go on contact and make them make a good catch, make them make a good throw to the catcher, and make the catcher make a good catch and tag, all with the pressure of you running on contact. But different coaches have different strategies. So, with Eng, and there's a ground ball to the pitcher, and this will end the inning. And UBC squanders their chance to put a run across the plate. Bradley T grounds out to the pitcher. Hoskins helps herself get out of her jam. And the score remains 1-0 for Eastern Oregon after 3 complete innings. By the way, Gorval's hit was UBC's first hit of the game. They had no one reach base. It was a 1-2-3 first inning for pitcher Kaylee Hoskins when she had Caitlin Bradley T line out the third base and then struck out Hannah Hansen and then drew a flyout from Kiona Nordquist to right fielder Addison Ribordi. In the second inning, Hoskins took care of business. Strikeout, strikeout, strikeout to sever Kim and Kemple. And in the bottom of the third, Gorval led off with a single, took second on a dropped ball by the left fielder, advanced to third on a sacrifice bunt by Arsh Bashwa, but a bunt towards first base by Caitlin Eng was fielded and thrown out at first, and Gorval did not choose to score. And then the leadoff hitter, Bradley Tse, hit a grounder right back to the pitcher, Kaylee Hoskins, who made the out to first baseman Haley Ebner. So that kept UBC at zeros. On the side of Eastern Oregon, they also have scored 1 run. It was the first hitter of the game. That was Haley Tyree, who singled up the middle, advanced to second on a walk, scored on a hit by Hannah Tyree, put UBC into trouble, but they got out of the jam with a sweet double play by the batter, Gales Leatherwood, who is now going to lead off this inning. Lindsay Bell has given up 1 run on 3 hits so far. Leatherwood pops up, but that's going to go foul. Leatherwood was the offensive star of the day yesterday. 5 RBI in the first game, a 3-run homer in the first, a double that scored a run, and a single that scored a run for a total of 5 RBI of the 9-1 victory of Eastern Oregon. Low and away makes it a 1-1 count on Leatherwood. Lindsay Bell wanting to be careful with her. She knows she can swing it. That was the bonus of that double play in the first inning, because it was off Gales Leatherwood's bat. The star of the day yesterday enabled UBC to get out. And there's a check swing, but that's going to land for a base hit. Just over the second baseman's hit. Hit them where they ain't. That's what they say to do. And she has led off the inning with a single. To shallow right field. Left-hander Addison Ribordi now hits. She grounded out to second baseman Caitlin Kim in her first at-bat. Like UBC, don't be surprised at all. Even though she's a 5 hitter in the lineup, it's only 1-0, and we're halfway through the game. So might she sacrifice bunt? I would say about 50-50 chance she will. Power hitter, though, you never know. And she's swinging away, and there's a strike called. Now, sometimes a coach will give a batter 1 chance to swing at a ball and then go to the sacrifice bunt. She's flashing a lot of signs, so again, don't be surprised if she squares around and just tries to advance the runner. Shea Severs playing in at third base for UBC. She does square. It's in the air. It's going to go foul. Good play. Very, very good play by Caitlin Eng to let that go. She did exactly what the third baseman did last inning. That was True Merriman for the Mounties. On that time, it went to first base, but again, Caitlin Eng was wise enough to look at the spin on the ball and could tell while it was in the air that when it hit the ground, it was definitely going to curve to her left, therefore foul. And that's exactly what happened. Across the chalk, and then she touched it immediately. That makes it a 2-strike count. There'll be no bunting now. Lindsay Bell tries to make her chase one high. Not a bad idea. I don't think we'll see Leatherwood running. Even though it's a 1-2 count, there's a good chance of a soft pitch coming up. They've seen Gabby Dorval throw one runner out. They may not want to take that chance again. That's high as well. That was a soft changeup. And makes the count 2-2. We're in the top of the 4th here at Collings Field at Nobel Park in Vancouver, BC. Home diamond of the UBC Thunderbirds. Eastern Oregon Mounties have a 1-0 lead. Top of the 4th, where Gales Leatherwood led off with a check swing, single to right field. Fly ball to left field this time. Better back up a little. Ah, she's got it. That's the way. And Raborti is retired on a fly to left field. No advance by Gales Leatherwood at first base. This brings to the plate Kazan Zaragoza. She reached first in her at-bat in the the second inning, when UBC shortstop Keelan Nordquist just caught the ground ball on the heel of her glove. This one's towards shortstop, over her head this time. Center fielder Caitlin Bradley C will get that in quickly, and that puts runners on first and second. First and second now for Eastern Oregon. That brings up Haley Ebner. Haley reached on a fielder's choice when she grounded to shortstop, and they threw out and got the runner who was on first. So that's how she got on base. Takes one high and outside by Lindsay Bell. And again, taking a trip out to the mound is Gabby Dorval. What she's seeing is the runner on second, and that is Gales Leatherwood, flashing the sign of the pitch to the hitter in their own fashion. So she's looking by the pitcher into the catcher giving the signs, and if it's obvious, if they just put down one sign, well, she's going to let her hitter know what's coming. So now Gabby Dorval and Lindsay Bell changed their sequence, so now the runner on second will not be able to do that. Strike down the middle, it's fouled off to the right side. Haley Abner pulled the ball to third base her first time up. She flared off a foul ball to right field on that one, so she's what you call a straightaway hitter. You don't know where she's going to go. Low for ball 2. I like the location there. You want to pitch low here. You might get yourself a double play and get out of the inning. 2-2 count now. Ooh, just missed. Tried to stay on the knees, but just got under it. Makes the count 3 balls and 1 strike. Not really a running situation for Eastern Oregon. They have the lead. The runners on base are not traditional base stealers. And that's ball 4. That's the second walk of the game by Bell, loading the bases. The 8 and 9 hitters are coming up for Eastern Oregon. UBC is going to go talk to Lindsay. The 3 base runners are going to run over and talk to their coach at third base, try to figure out what's going on. Jennifer McKellar is talking to the plate umpire. Are they thinking of removing Lindsay Bell? And I think they're going to. And this isn't. This is a reasonable situation. Not that Lindsay Bell's not throwing well, but excuse me. It is her second time through the lineup. It's a 1-0 game. The bases are loaded, so it's a potential to break the game wide open here. So what you might want to do is bring in a new pitcher, a pitcher that the batter has not seen yet. Kelly Monahan, the hitter, did single on a line drive off of Lindsay Bell last time up. So it's a reasonable decision. Lindsay Bell did a super job out there. She gave up a total of 4 hits over her 3 innings. She struck out 2 batters, walked a couple, and leaves the game with her team down 1-0 against one of the powers of the conference. So did her job, and now let's see if this is Shea Sever coming to the mound. Now Shea Sever and Lindsay Bell combined yesterday for that big win in the second game. Bell was the starting pitcher. She threw 2 and a bit, same as today. Actually, this is the 4th inning, so Bell has thrown 3 and a third innings. And Sever came in after Bell gave up only 1 hit, and Sever threw 4 2/3 innings of no-hit softball. Kept the score at 1, the run that Bell gave up earlier, and UBC wound up coming back in the bottom of the 7th to win 2-1 on a walk-off fly ball to split the doubleheader yesterday. So these two combined yesterday for a win, and it's a very similar situation today, except Lindsay Bell threw 1 more inning than she did yesterday, and so less work for Shea Sever. And also, you got to think of the mindset of the team. This team got no hits off of her yesterday, so they might have, whether Shea Sever is tremendous or less than tremendous, they've got her in their mind as the one that no-no'd them for 4 innings yesterday. So let's see if that mind trick works. And there's a strike to start off, right at the belt, strike 1. Kelly Monahan up, bases loaded. The infielders are all inside the baseline, so their play is going to be to home plate. And remember, because they're loaded, it's a force out. They don't need to tag the runner at third, from third. There's a check swing for strike 2. And this is what you get, a different look. Kelly Monahan had seen Lindsay Bell twice already, so she had an idea of how she throws, but obviously Shea Sever has a different look. High for a ball. Not a bad idea, trying to chase her up there. If she'd made contact, that would have been a pop-up or a shallow fly, so nobody would have scored. Count is now 2 balls, 2 strikes. I can't see that umpire's left hand, so sometimes I get the count wrong. That is a pop-up. That should not score a run. If it's caught in the foul territory, it just hit the screen on the first base side. If I was Gabby Dorval, I would stick with that high target. I like it. I think Kelly Monahan likes the ball up, and as long as you don't throw her at her belt, get her up high in the letters. Ooh, strike 3. Big K right there. Nobody advances. It was maybe not a bad idea to not go with a high target as I suggested, because she'd seen 3 high balls in a row, and now that was kind of on a different lane, a different plane. It was on the lower side of the outside plate. And now this is going to bring up a pinch hitter. This is number 13, Jessica Touchard. Chardias, I can hear her being called by her benchmates. So she'll bat for Merriman, number 13. Merriman struck out her first time up. Touchard is a left-handed hitter. 2 outs now, so it's anybody's ball. Shea Sever just simply wants to get the ball put in place. She doesn't have to be the hero here and generate a strikeout. UBC's defense has been a help to her today, not a hinder at all. Low and outside, ball 1. Both managers here. A lot of strategy being employed. UBC changing pitchers, and now in the top of the 4th, a pinch hitter for the 9-hitter, True Merriman, and this is number 13, Jessica Touchard, fouled off to the third base side. It's a 1-1 count. I went down to the series at Eastern Oregon last year, and it was a great series, and Eastern Oregon really put on a show. They beat UBC 3 out of the 4 games. There's a fly ball to the left. It's going to tail. It's going to be trouble. It is now caught. Caught by left fielder, Arsh Bashwa on a big out. Those balls that are hit between the fielder and the line always go towards the line, and she knew it. She ran hard, made the catch on the run, And UBC gets out of a jam. And now, of course, this is the way softball and baseball go. You would say, well, it was a good pitching change. It's always a good move when it works. And Thomas, when it doesn't work, then it wasn't a good move. Tough on the coaches, isn't it? The Thomas I refer to as Thomas Bell. He is the guy pushing all the buttons for your camera angles. He's got about 4 cameras around this ballpark. He's got wires tangled up like a spider web, but they all seem to make things work. He does it as a volunteer. He's very passionate about the game. I love talking baseball with Thomas. Today I'm sort of talking at him. Yeah. He's sitting next to me.
I'm sitting right beside you, but I'm actually not saying much because
I don't give you a chance to say much. That's why.
But that's okay. I've had enough little technical glitches as usual.
Well, you do it all. And yesterday I wasn't here. I was in Chilliwack. And to do all the engineering you're doing for this, and then to do the play-by-play and keep score, and I don't know how you do it. It's a miracle. So I'm happy to give you this break today. It's a tiny way to say thanks for all you do. Because
at the beginning of the game, I had an internet connection. It was actually a wireless connection, and then it ended up being a really weak signal. So I moved to a wired connection. As soon as I did that, the stream went down.
Oh, jeez.
And then I had trouble getting it up and running, so I had to launch a brand new stream, which hopefully people were able to find.
And it rained all morning.
But it is up and running. We only missed the top half of the first.
That's all right. We'll take it. I'll tell you, as a parent who lives in Ontario, Paula is my wife, and I can't tell you, for 4 years, we've been living on your streams of these games 4,000 kilometers away. It's such a thrill to be here in person today. Paula's actually back in Ontario, but we really appreciate what you do for this team. To do a little play-by-play is a pleasure to give you something back and give you a break. We are in the bottom of the 4th now. UBC is down 1-0. We're second time through the order now. This is Hannah Hansen leading off against successful pitcher Kaylee Hoskins. Another shutout. This is a fly ball deep down the right field line, and that ball is caught at the right field foul pole. That was less than 10 feet away from the fence. It was at the warning track. Hansen almost ties up the score on one swing. And this is what happens second time through. You normally have better at-bats because you've seen the pitcher once already. Plate now is the Kiona Nordquist, the first baseman. She flew out to right field her first time up. Low and outside, ball 1. Kaylee Hoskins not slowing down at all in her outing yesterday. And Hoskins, by the way, was 7-2 now going into today for the season, wins and losses. She threw all 5 innings. It was a mercy rule, struck out 6 and only gave up 3 hits. There's a ground ball, might be up the middle. It's bounced out the shortstop chest. It's not in time. She's safe at first base on a high hop. I would give that a single if I was scoring. I don't know what the official score would do. But that, yes, the shortstop was squared up to it. But you saw, she didn't even get her glove on it. It hit her letters on her chest because it took an unpredictable high hop on this field here at Collings Field at Nobel Park. And I would give that a hit. A lot of scorers, I would give that I'd give it a hit. A lot of scorers will give that an error just because.
I'll put it down as a hit on the scoreboard here.
So. Well, thanks. I appreciate
it. I'm not the official scorekeeper, though. So.
That's above our pay grade, Thomas. You and I are in the lower rung.
But if people do want to see the official scoreboard, they can go on to the UBC softball website and click on the schedule, and then it says live score. So that is the official scorekeeper.
Fair enough. So in my books, Kiona singles and gets herself onto first base with 1 out. Now comes Shea Sever. Pitcher against pitcher here. Sever relieves Lindsay Bell last inning, got out of a jam, keeping Eastern Oregon to its 1-0 lead. Sever and the next 2 batters, Caitlin Kim and Shelby Kemple, all struck out their first time up. So these are the hitters Kaylee Hoskins wants to see, but these are also hitters that want a piece of her after those first time strikeouts. Inside strike, makes it a 1-1 count. Hoskins shows no fear. You can tell she's experienced. 7-2 record in the win-loss column. She's shooting for a win today. That ball's lined down the left field foul line.
She's already a 2-time pitcher of the week. So far this season.
My gosh, wow, how about that? One of the big reasons Eastern Oregon is at the top of the conference in rankings. UBC playing right with them. They got hammered yesterday, no doubt about it. Eastern Oregon 9-1 in the opener. UBC comes back for a 2-1 victory in Game 2, and they're behind just a run with that potential tying run on first base. Norquist can steal. They haven't tested the catcher's arm yet today. They've only had one other base runner. That was Gabby Dorbell. She reached third but didn't score an inning ago. Oh, that hit her in the kneecap. You could hear it way back here. Ouch, it sounded like a foul ball. Sever. Maybe the pitcher did that because Sever hasn't given up a hit yet. No, they wouldn't do that. They wouldn't advance the tying run to second base. So certainly that was not intentional. But we'll see if there's any effect on that, because on a cold day, that could affect Sever on the mound. I hope not. So that makes it first and second for UBC. And up comes Caitlin Kim. Lefty against lefty here. Tying run on second base. Go ahead is on first. There's one out here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Ground ball up the middle. It's going to score the tying run. Here comes the throw. Here comes the slide. She's safe. And the runner on second goes to third. Kim goes to second on her RBI. Single up the middle. And UBC has tied it up. Jennifer McKellar makes an aggressive move at third base and sends the runner. I think she might have been conservative on Gabby Dorbell earlier, and she wanted to change that approach and challenge the Eastern Oregoners to make a perfect play defensively, and it didn't happen. The score is now tied 1-1. Caitlin Kim, with that sweet swing of hers, rips a single up the middle. And now we have runners on. When the throw went to home plate, that gave the two runners a chance to get themselves in a scoring position. So Kim, the one that hit the ball, is on second, and Shea Sever, who got beamed in the knee, found a way to get to third base despite, I'm sure, a throbbing joint in her leg. I've got two replacement knees, so I can appreciate sore knees. We're going to have a pinch hitter here for Shelby Kemple. Mia Volk is going to pinch hit at this point in the game. Volk came in yesterday. Now, she's normally an established starter on this team, but she, in the very first half of inning of this season, she was playing shortstop and went into the hole between her and third base, caught a ground ball, and the idea was to catch it on her backhand and then throw to third because there was runners on first and second. But she tweaked her knee, and it turned out to be a torn meniscus. She's been out about 5 weeks. She's able to bat. The doctor and they're shy about letting her come back too early. You can see that knee brace on her right knee. But yesterday she came into pinch hit and wound up knocking in the walk-off run with a deep fly ball to right field, and that gave UBC a 2-1. Runners on second and third here, and Jennifer Keller wants to take advantage of Volk's bat. You won't see Volk run the bases, I'm sure, but they wanted to just try to at least put the team ahead. Hit the ball hard somewhere. Hit the ball deep, maybe. If it's on the ground, hit it through the hole. You want to have the runner breaking on contact, although Shea Sever, with getting beamed in the knee, I don't know if she could run that well. Volk takes a strike on the outside corner, not really happy with the call. That makes it 1-1. Now, on the other side of the ball, Eastern Oregon, if I'm them, and I saw Volk do that to them yesterday, and Volk had a very successful series against them last year. She hit a home run in their ballpark. Why not pitch around her, so to speak, and don't worry if you walk her. What's the harm? Outside corner again. So this is what exactly Kaylee Hoskins is trying to do with Volk, is pitch her onto the corners. She's not going to give her anything good to hit, and I think her mindset is, if I walk her, so what? I care about the runner on third, not another runner on first. Plus, that gives me a force out at the plate if Volk does walk. Outside, but not a strike this time. They're going to keep nibbling. Makes the count 2-2. Volk took batting practice before the game, but she does very limited actions with her right knee coming back from that torn meniscus. You don't want to make yourself sit out another 6 weeks because you came back too early, that's for sure. Outside, nope, and it's full count. That one was very close. If that had been called a strike, I wouldn't have been surprised. As a hitter, you really got to be careful. Runner on third, less than 2 out, you want to put the ball in play. So Volk should have a wide zone here. In other words, swing at anything close. Full count, runners on second and third. Tying run just scored. UBC a chance to take the lead. Mia Volk at the plate. High, it's a fly ball. If it's caught, it's going to count for a run. That ball is caught. The runner tags, and another sacrifice fly for Mia Volk puts UBC ahead 2-1. That's exactly what happened yesterday. She made this score 2-1, but it was in the 7th inning. A walk-off. Today she does it again, and UBC goes ahead 2-1 as Shea Sever, despite getting beaten on the knee, is able to tag up and score just ahead of the throw from right field. Jennifer McKellar pushing all the right buttons today with a pitching change and with a pinch hit change right there. Up to the plate now, Gabby Dorval, who had the first hit of the game for UBC. She singled to the left side. Interesting, again, I can't help but notice the center fielder and right fielder for Eastern Oregon playing in traditional positions. Gabby Dorval fouled 4 balls down the left field line and hit a single about 6 inches inside the third baseline. And they're still playing way to the right. This one's hit to left field again. Thank goodness the center fielder hadn't moved over, because that puts UBC ahead by 2. Dorval takes advantage of the poor defensive setting and lines one to left field with an RBI single. Caitlin Kim scores, puts UBC ahead 3-1. Still just 1 out, and up at the plate now is the hot-hitting Arsh Bashwa. Bashwa caught that fly ball last inning. Remember, bases loaded, fly ball slicing down the left field line. She charged. She knew it was going to keep slicing, and she got there in time to make the catch and end the inning. Helping us with her glove, and now let's see if she can help us with her bat. Ooh, that looked good. But UBC will take it. It's a 2-0 count on Arsh Bajwa. UBC has taken the lead here in the bottom of the 4th inning. They're ahead 3-1 over the power juggernaut Eastern Oregon Mounties. Ground ball down the right side. It's foul. That could have been trouble if that stayed about 3 feet to its left. Would have been at least a double. Just headed towards the right field corner. Caitlin Eng is on deck, and at the plate is Arsh Bajwa. She sacrificed bunted Gabby Dorval to third in her last at-bat, so this is the first chance she's really had. That's an 0 for 0, of course. A sack bunted doesn't count against your batting average. She dropped a beautiful bunt, actually. And there's a shot to the right side again, just foul. Gabby Dorval's on first base. She's 2 for 2 today with a pair of singles to the left side. Arsh Bajwa at the plate, hoping to add some runs to UBC's lead. It's high. It's a short pop-up, but the pitcher is able to get there on time and end the inning. But UBC scores 3 runs on 2 hits. And they not only catch up and tie it, but they take a 2-run lead. Shea Sever returns to the mound for the top of the 5th. And what a big inning for UBC. Just quickly reviewing, after Hannah Hansen lined out deep, I mean deep to the right field foul pole to lead off the bottom of the 4th. Kiona Nordquist singled, followed by Shea Sever getting hit on the right knee. Shea Sever's on the mound right now, and hopefully that won't affect her pitching. That made it 1st and 2nd. Caitlin Kim then singled in the tying run with a ground ball up the middle, and on the throw to the plate where Kiona Nordquist scored before the throw, that allowed the hitter and the other base runner to advance. So that made it 2nd and 3rd. Coach Jenna McKellar decided to use Mia Volk off the bench. She's only a player that can take an at-bat once a game right now, as her torn meniscus is holding her back from playing regularly. But Volk hit a sacrifice fly to right field to put UBC ahead 2-1. Following her was Gabby Dorval with a line shot to left center field, her 2nd hit of the game, and putting UBC ahead 3-1. Huge inning, and now we go to the top of 5 with Shea Sever on the mound. And remember, Shea Sever yesterday threw 4 1/3 inning of no-hit softball against Eastern Oregon. Nobody has done that this year. And Sever came in last inning with the bases loaded. Lindsay Bell did her job for the first 4 innings, left the bases loaded. Sever comes in with a strikeout and a flyout. So Eastern Oregon still is hitless against her. Most importantly, they didn't put any runs across last inning. Haley Tyree, we're back to the top of the order, will lead off for Eastern Oregon. She singled her first time up and popped out to first in the third inning. Top of the fifth. Mounties down now by a score of 3-1. High and outside, ball one. Chase Sever has the numbers to back up her appearances. It's not just she had good outings yesterday and so far today. I'll tell you what she's done for the season. As the hitter takes a strike. Sever, wow, in 29 innings, has only given up 22 hits and 6 walks. If you're a whip statistic person, whip stands for walks plus hits divided by innings pitched. If you are under 1, you are outstanding. You are an all-star. And she has a less than 1 whip, WHIP statistic. She's only walked 6 batters all year, struck out 35 in her 29 innings, and has a 1.67 coming into this weekend ERA. So she's done it all year long. Ball bounces before the plate, making the count 2 balls and 1 strike. So Chase Sever, Lindsay Bell, and Shelby Kemple round out most of the pitching staff for UBC. They've thrown probably 95% of the innings this season. Line drive up the middle, off her glove to second. Will the relay go in time? It will. I think that would have been a hit had she not tried for it. Sometimes pitchers won't try for those, but that is if you're keeping score, that's called a 1-4-3 ground out. In other words, it went off the glove of Chase Sever, over deflected to Caitlin Kim, who really relayed it to Caitlin Ang. So that was a case where it was a good move to try to catch that line drive, because it deflected it just enough for Caitlin Kim to get there on time. Otherwise, it would have been through to center field. This is Maddie Statler. She has a walk and a pop up to the pitcher so far today. Statler had 3 hits in game 1 yesterday, so she's dangerous. Haley Tyree, the leadoff hitter who just hit that line shot. Look at this. She singled the first time up and scored. Next 2 times she didn't get on base, and Eastern Oregon has not scored since. So she's obviously a key to their offense. Maddie Statler trying to make up for that. There's a shot pop-up. This will be caught by Caitlin Kim. And Sever throws an inside hit off the handle there and pop to second base. 2 batters, 2 outs for Eastern Oregon so far, and up comes Hannah Tyree. She's knocked in the only run of the game so far for Eastern Oregon. She singled up the middle with her sister Haley Tyree on base.
What number?
18, Hannah Tyree. Sever showing no signs of a problem with having getting beamed in her right knee. That's the knee she pitches off of. That's the knee that stays on the rubber. But so far, it seems to not have affected her. Outside, ball 1. Just on the high outside corner. Makes the count 3-0. 2-0, nobody on, so no harm if you walk somebody. But I hesitate to say that because the cleanup hitter, Gales Leatherwood, was Mrs. Batter yesterday of the day. 4-ball walk by Sever. That brings up Gales Leatherwood. Leatherwood had 3 hits in the first game yesterday, a homer, a run-scoring single, and a run-scoring double. So you really don't want her coming up, but if you're going to have her coming up, at least there's 2 outs, and there's a runner on first, so it really takes 2 hits to score her. This is Gales Leatherwood, number 25. Leatherwood lined out her first time up today, actually lined into a double play to third base. Her second time up, she singled on a check swing just over Caitlin Kim's head, the second baseman for UBC. Let's see what she does now. Change up. Beautiful movement on that pitch. Really sunk as well as came in at a different speed. for a strike that you want against Leatherwood. They got bat right here. Eastern Oregon's top hitter. The tying run, if she were ever to hit one all the way over the fence. And she's done that here. She did it yesterday. Hit a home run her first time up. So if you're Sever, you want to keep the ball down. The wind is blowing out. If you look at the Canadian flag in center field, it's blowing dead out to the trees. That beautiful backdrop here at Cullings Field at Nobel Park. Low check swing, but not called a strike. She's going to check with her partner, and the partner agrees that it is not a swing. Therefore, that's ball 4. Now, there's a walk that I really don't mind. Why let the best hitter on their team, at least the hottest hitter this weekend, why let her tie up the game? If someone's going to tie it up, make it someone who's not had the success that she's had this weekend. So I got no trouble, even though it puts the tying run at second base, or excuse me, a scoring run at second base. Up is Addison Ribordi. She has grounded out to second and flown out to left so far today.
Right back. Got a couple camera sets down center field.
Thomas off to his mechanical engineering efforts. Carries batteries, chargers, wires, cables. Guy's like he's like a walking machine. Just high for a ball. Sever having trouble finding the strike zone. She just walked 2 batters in a row. Could it be that right knee she was hit by a pitch with last inning is bothering her? You don't know. She got the first 2 runners of the inning out, so you'd think it wouldn't be. There's a strike and fouled off. It's a car going by, but it was on the roof, not on the glass at least. We have Hannah Tyree at second base, Gales Leatherwood at first. Both reached base on walks after leadoff hitter Haley Tyree grounded out 1-4-3, and then Maddie Statler popped out to second base. Tying run is on first for Eastern Oregon right now with Addison Ribordi at the plate. They got a loud dugout, really cheering on their teammates. High for a ball. That's Shea Sever on the mound. She came in last inning with the bases loaded, got out of a jam, striking out and getting inducing a fly out. There's a ground to short. This should end the inning. Nordquist to first, and it's over. Sever gets out of the jam. UBC has been doing that all day long. But Shea Sever relies on her defense to do the trick, and they did. She's still not given up a hit in both outings this weekend against Eastern Oregon. So 2 more runners left on base by the Mounties. They have left a total of 8 runners on base this game, and they've only batted in 5 innings. So they have threatened every inning but the second. Or excuse me, the 3rd inning. That was when Lindsay Bell went pop-out, strikeout in her 3rd inning. Bell continued on in the top of the 4th. She allowed a single, a flyout, then a single and a walk. And that's when Jennifer McKellar, the head coach, changed pitchers. And Shea Sever was able to get Kelly Monahan on a strikeout and True Merriman on a flyout to left field to end that threat. And then Sever got herself in trouble this past inning, the top of the 5th. After a couple of quick outs, she walked 2 batters in a row, got to a full count, and induced a ground out to shortstop to end the inning there. Strand 2 more runners for the Mounties. UBC will not take this inning lightly just because they've got a 3-1 lead. You can tell this team is just on the brink of putting runs across the plate, so you want to build some insurance onto your 3-1 lead. That'll be up to Caitlin Ng, the number 9 hitter in the batting order, to lead off, and then we'll get to the top of the order. Caitlin Bradley C. Bradley C is 0 for 2 so far today with a line out to third and a ground out to the pitcher. And Hannah Hansen will be the 3rd hitter this inning. She has a strikeout and a deep fly ball to right field on her plate so far. UBC crowd getting into it. They sense a series win. This will be the first time in UBC's history to win a series against Eastern Oregon if they can hang on for 6 more outs defensively. They've got 3 at-bats offensively if they need it. This is the bottom of the 5th, and they're ahead 3-1. Left-handed batter Caitlin Ng, the first baseman, slaps it. Third baseman takes it away from the shortstop, but it went off her glove. So it's the right play. If the third baseman can get that, she's got a better chance of making the throw than the shortstop waiting another hop to get it herself. But unfortunately, her aggressiveness didn't pay off because, and she'll be given an error on that, I think, even though it was a very tough play. Scorers normally would give that an error. Probably going to see a bunt here by C. I wouldn't be surprised to see that. CBC, they call her. And she is bunting. Trying to, anyway. But nobody out. She hasn't reached base hit, even though she's had a really good first at-bat with a line out. And then she grounded out to the pitcher a second. But it's a leadoff hitter. You got 2, 3, 4 coming up. It's quite reasonable to drop a sac bunt right here. Takes a high ball. Bunt again. She fouls it this time. Caitlin C. Caitlin Bradley C, I should say. Her Caitlin is with a C, Bradley B, of course, and her, after the hyphen of her surname is TSEE, pronounced C, and so the teammates call her CBC. And there's a beautiful bunt. Oh, it's just going to squirt foul. Would have got the job done, but it just was about, came 6 inches to the right of the first base foul line, and the catcher touched it in a hurry so that it would be called a foul ball. Sometimes those pool cue shots will turn themselves right around and go back into fair territory. Makes it a 2-2 count. I don't think she'll bunt with 2 strikes. She'll be looking to swing away here. Tries a slap swing.
Did she get on with a hit?
The leadoff hitter got on with an error. The third baseman tried to field it in front of the shortstop, but it went off her glove into center field. I think the scorer would give that an error. Really tough play, though. Slap, swing and miss. So Bradley C strikes out, and this brings up Hannah Hansen. Hannah struck at her first time up and hit a fly ball about, well, warning track right to the right field foul pole that was caught. I'd like to see that power come out now with a runner at first base, looking for a double to score a run. Hannah Hansen, 10 for 32 on the season, a .313 batting average, 9 runs batted in. So one of the leaders in that category, looking to add one to that total. Strike on the outside corner. Kaylee Hoskins is pitching for Eastern Oregon. She chalked up a win yesterday with a super outing. 5 innings of the first game, allowing just 3 hits. Easy win for them, 9-1. UBC came back yesterday for the second half of the doubleheader and won 2-1. And now they're up 3-1 here in the bottom of the 5th on the lone game played today. If you tuned in expecting a doubleheader, due to the rain that came down heavy in the morning and lightened up, they changed the schedule to 1 game beginning at 12 o'clock noon. The second game on Sundays in all of these series is an exhibition game, so to speak. It doesn't count in the conference standings, but it counts in your overall season standings. I think it's a good idea. Teams travel a long way in this conference, especially when you're talking about UBC, who's in another country, and all 10 other teams are in the USA. So if you're going to go that far, as Ernie Banks would say, let's play 2. get everybody some playing time, but not today. The rain prevented that. Check swing, and did she go? No, the base umpire confirms that was not a swing. That was really close. Could have gone either way, but Hannah Hansen is still alive. I think this would be a really good time to run Caitlin Eng. It's a 2-2 count. They're focused on the hitter. Probably going to come with some kind of a tricky pitch here. And it's a drive to center field. It's caught like an ice cream cone. What a play. She ran to her left, but the ball was carrying. The ball wasn't sinking, so she had to jump, and it looked like a scoop of vanilla ice cream. Well, no, like mint chocolate chip because of the color of the softball on top of a cone. Beautiful catch by the center fielder. That's Haley Tyree out there. She scored the only run of the game, and now she makes a great defensive play. Another tremendous at-bat that goes down as an 0 for 1 to Hannah Hansen, but it sure was hit well. With 2 out now, this brings up Keona Nordquist. Nordquist made the great play last inning of with runners on second and third, catching that ground ball and throwing the runner out at first to end the inning. Watches a strike on the right side corner. What she did there, she thought about swinging and she kind of ducked into it. And umpires, this just happens, they're human. When you duck into it, then suddenly it doesn't look as outside as it did as she stayed straight up. It just, she tried to swing. She thought about swinging, that's why. See, that ball was pretty close to the same pitch, but she didn't duck into it, and therefore it was called a ball, as it should have been. Nordquist flew out her first time out to right field, then singled her second time up. 1 for 2 on the day. Bottom of the 5th, 2 out, run around first. Fly ball to center, should be caught. She backs up and again has to turn around to catch it. The ball's carrying well. That wind is blowing the Canadian flag out there, but it's a long, deep fly to center field to end the inning. So UBC carries a 3-1 lead as we enter the top of the 6th inning. No doubt Shea Sever will come out and take them out unless her knee might be bothering her from being hit by a pitch earlier in the game. I'm waiting to see her come out of that dugout. And yes, she is. She's greeted by her new catcher. That's Olivia Molescu behind the plate. She catches most of the innings for UBC, and now that they're in the lead, Jennifer McKellar has made several good moves today as the head coach is just trying to play defense now, put a defensive priority. Maybe a blocked ball that another catcher might not have got to. Molescu is experienced. She's gritty. She loves to get dirty. I would never want to do her laundry if I was on the team staff doing that job, because she just comes off the field full of. She's like who's that character on Charlie Brown? Pigpen, they called him, I think. Pigpen in that comic strip, and Pigpen always had a cloud of dirt around him. That's Olivia Molescu. She plays gritty. So Molescu will go into the game for Dorval. Dorval leaves the game with an outstanding game. Couple of RBI. 2 for 2 is Gabby Dorval. Olivia's no slouch at the plate either. Okay, here we are. Now, here's 2 reasons why UBC wants a quick inning right now, okay? We're in the top of the 6th, and we are at the 6th hitter in the lineup for Eastern Oregon. So if they could ever get a 1-2-3 inning, that would be the 6, 7, and 8 hitters. Then in the 7th inning, you'd have the 9th and 1st and 2nd hitters staying away from the 3 and 4. So not only do you want to allow no runs, like always in baseball, you want to make it a quick inning so you don't run into those dangerous 3 and 4 hitters and give them a chance to maybe tie the game or take the lead. So this is a big inning here, top of 6. Zarazoga grounds to the pitcher. Sever makes the throw. Oh, the throw crossed the line and really made it a difficult play for first baseman Caitlin Eng, because she basically crossed over first base to reach it for her. Therefore, the runner ran into her. Zarazoga couldn't have avoided her. It wasn't a dirty play whatsoever. It was just a bad throw by the pitcher, because instead of staying inside the base and not giving the runner a chance to get in the way, she actually made Eng cross the baseline. But Eng toughened up and took the throw, caught it, stepped on the base, and took a bit of a hit from the runner. Swing and a miss, and that was a beautiful swing by Haley Ebner. Boy, tell you, if she got a piece of that, it would have gone a long way. Ebner has reached twice today. She reached on a fielder's choice to third base in the second inning and then drew a walk in the fourth inning. Ebner, swing and foul ball. Just what you're looking for. Quick inning. You really want to get a 1-2-3 here to try and stay away from those 3 and 4 hitters coming up in that 7th inning. I know it's not a chess game. You got to play hitter by hitter, pitch by pitch, but you have to have this in your mind. And now, Shea Sever has an 0-2 count on Haley Ebner, who's reached twice. And that pop-up is unfortunately going to be foul. I thought that one might come back and give Olivia Walescu a chance to do one of her patented turn and face the screen smart catches. Haley Ebner facing Shea Sever. 1 out here in the top. Fly ball to deep left field. She's going back. Arsh is under it for the catch at the warning track. Ebner really took a couple of good swings in those at-bats. Boy, oh boy.
I couldn't get that on.
Arsh Bajwa went back and just kept, she didn't turn and run to her spot and turn back around. She kind of backpedaled and backpedaled. I was getting nervous, but she made it to the edge of the warning track and the ball was caught. So that makes...
I couldn't show that because the wide angle camera got knocked out by the foul ball.
A previous foul ball, if you heard Thomas there, didn't give you the pleasure of showing you Arsh's excellent catch on that. She really made up her ground, and Shea Sever gets the first 2 hitters out, which we talked about at the start of the inning, could prove critical as we go to the 7th. I'm not assuming Kelly Monahan's going to get it out here, but Sever is doing the right things, and the defense is doing their job as well. Monahan singled her first time up on a gorgeous line drive to right field and struck out her next time up. Nobody on here with 2 out in the top of the 6th inning. We play 7 innings in softball. Eastern Oregon has 4 outs remaining to try to tie or take the lead. They're down 3-1 to UBC. Eastern Oregon has not been beaten in a series this year so far. This would be huge for the UBC program to hang on to this lead. Really something to celebrate. And you know what else I'm going to tell you? Something that has to do with this is having this home field here, Collings Field at Nobel Park. This gives these girls a home. They get to practice on this diamond every day. Unlike the last few years where they've been playing out of South Paul City in Surrey, just outside of Vancouver. It's a magnificent facility. They've hosted world championships there, but it's an hour away in traffic and an hour back. And these are already student athletes trying to look after academics and athletics, and then 2 hours a day get wasted driving there and driving back. So hats off to Gord Collings, who this field is named after, for leading the charges with some of his players, talking the Westbrook community into getting this raggedy old former ballpark back in shape again. And it's just a win-win for the community, and certainly a win-win for UBC to have their home park just minutes from, it's right on the edge of the campus, so their friends and their roommates can come watch them. And we get home crowds helping them. It's really a big deal. And I think it's got something to do with why they're on the verge of winning a series here at home against one of the top teams in the league. Fouled off. This is Audrey Kime pinch hitting, by the way, for Kelly Monahan. Audrey Klein, number 24. Audrey Kime, sorry, K-I-M-E. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And Shea Sever does exactly what the doctor ordered, a 1-2-3 inning, despite facing a pinch hitter. And Sever has gone hitless today. She did the same thing yesterday in relief. Didn't allow 1 hit, and the same thing has happened in her outing today. She came in relief of Lindsay Bell, as she did yesterday. The 2 combined for that huge 2-1 win. And now today, Bell throws half a game, does a great job limiting Eastern Oregon to just 1 run. And Sever came in to get out of a bases loaded jam and hold them to 2 more innings. We enter the bottom of the 7th. UBC, now you've got to do your job, offense. Your pitcher's done their jobs. You've got to get some insurance runs. 3-1, I just don't trust it. I want to see a couple more runs put on that board. and you've got the right players to do it. Sever, Caitlin Kim, and Shelby Kemp. Excuse me. Well, we'll see who will bat in Shelby Kempel's place. Her last at bat, she was pinch hit for by Mia Volk. So Shelby Kempel, I think there's a re-entry rule and maybe can bat for herself again. Or there's some really quality bats on the bench as well for UBC. So Jennifer McKellar has a pleasant decision to make. Shea Sever, the leadoff hitter today and the current pitcher for UBC, struck out looking her first time up and was hit in her second at bat, wound up scoring. So the ball that hit her knee so loudly it sounded like a ball hitting a bat. She was able to make it to third and then score on a sac fly. Just a hair high for ball one on Sever. Still in the game was the starting pitcher, Kaylee Hoskins, doing a fine job herself. She's only given up 3 hits all game. Let's make that 3 hits. 3 hits all game. However, she did give up a sac fly. That's not a hit, but that scored a run. And she also hit Sever last time up, and Sever wound up scoring. So 2 of the runs were aided by non-hits, so to speak. High again. Makes the count 2-1. That's fouled. That's going to be out of play. Sever turns around with that look of, why didn't I get ahead of that pitch? That was the one I was looking for, but she just swung a little bit late. Kaylee Hoskins hasn't really lost any velocity. She throws hard. Her fastball is her bread and butter pitch. Ground ball to the left side. It's off the ankle of the shortstop. There will be no play made, and Sever not able to run very fast because of getting beamed earlier. Reaches on an error by the shortstop. The ball stayed down, and I think the shortstop thought it was going to come up, so it got off the sort of the upper edge of the basket of her glove. Caitlin Kim comes up. Kim is has a great swing. She has a strikeout and a single today, an RBI single. However, okay, now they're going to pinch run for Sever, but Sever can come back into the game, can't she, Thomas?
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to say, I wouldn't want to, the way she's going on the mound, I'd like her to see her complete this game. So they're going to put a pinch runner in for her. If I could get a number, I will tell you who it is. It's number 7?
Avery Mossop.
Oh, Avery Mossop. Okay, thank you. Oh, that's number 77. That's what it is. Avery Mossop is the pinch runner. And now, I was going to say Kim might be bunting here. It seems to be the way Jennifer McKellar thinks, but Kim's got a good swing. That's a tough decision. Do you let the good hitter hit, or do you do the traditional baseball thing and bunt the leadoff hitter to second base? I'm going to predict that she's going to bunt, but let's see what McKellar does. Caitlin Kim at the plate from Mississauga, Ontario. Didn't show bunt at all. This is a real vote of confidence on the young hitter. I tell you, if you watch her hit, you understand why she's not bunting. She's really got a good swing. She'll hit any type of pitch. Even her strikeout today, she took really good cuts. Swing, line drive down the line, it's just foul. That was going to be double trouble. Definitely would have got the runners a couple of bases. So pinch runner Avery Mossop returns to first base, running for Shea Sever as Caitlin Kim's line drive. Now with a strike, will Jen McKellar switch things up and maybe play the safe role and go bunt? Let's see. She is. Oh, and she does bunt, but she bunts it just foul. That's what coaches will do with good hitters. They'll maybe give them one good swing at it, and if you don't get your hit, then it's going to be time to take it for the team. Now what do you do with 2 strikes? Is Kim that good of a bunter that she can get a bunt with 2 strikes? Because remember, if you attempt a bunt with 2 strikes and you foul it, you're out. It's not a foul ball. You're out if you attempted a bunt. So I think she'll go back to swinging full here. Looks and just takes an outside strike, outside ball, making the count 2-2. Will the pinch runner maybe steal a base? 2-2 count. Just high and away again. Full count. Really good time to steal the base now because the pitcher is thinking totally about the batter, and so is the catcher. They want to get this batter out. Good time to run. Let's see if McKellar will put the aggressive pedal down. Mossop does not go, and it's ball 4. So Kim draws a walk, making it first and second. And, well, actually, Volk will stay in Shelby Kempel's spot because if you remember, she pinch hit last time and knocked in a run with a sacrifice fly. So therefore, Volk did not have to get on base where she would have been replaced because she's dealing with the end of a injury, a torn meniscus. So she can bat but not run. At least she shouldn't be running. And so since she didn't have to base run and got the job done, she stays in Kempel's spot and will bat. So if you see her get on base, you'll probably see Kempel return to the game and be the runner for Volk. Now we're going to see a new pitcher. This is going to be number 17. It's McKenna Stallings coming in.
McKenna Stallings?
McKenna Stallings, yeah. She has not pitched this weekend yet. Right-hander, watching a warm-up. Got that long ponytail. Tough thing to see players' numbers in girls softball when they got those long haircuts. I wish they'd put the numbers I wish they'd put like the 1 right near her left side and the 7 right near her right side so the ponytail could fall in between. But anyway, we've got the right one. Thomas Bell just confirmed that. So pitching in this situation of runners on first and second with 1 out is going to be McKenna Stallings for Eastern Oregon. Sorry, there's nobody out. Shea Sever led the inning off with a ground ball to shortstop that was kicked, so she reached first, was pinch ran for by Avery Mossop, and then Caitlin Kim swinging and then sack bunting and then swinging again, wound up drawing a walk to put runners on first and second, and this brings Mia Volk back to the plate. Last time up, she hit a deep sack fly to right field to play to run. The second run of the game, the go-ahead run for UBC. They scored another, and it's 3-1. Volk takes one low. Looking for the first time ever at McKenna Stallings. Looks like she's a pitcher with likes to use a lot of junk and location. I don't think her fastball is overwhelming, but it looks like she's got some crazy soft stuff. Got a funky grip on the ball right now. Kind of a slider. Makes the count 2-0. Hitters count now. You see the brace on Volk's right knee. That's the knee that she tore the meniscus on in the first half of the first inning of this season, about 4 or 5 weeks ago. Ground ball to the left side. It's going to go to the shortstop, and there'll be a force out at third base. Volk hit the ball hard, but since the shortstop had the opportunity to go to her right, she easily threw the ball to third base, putting Volk on first on a fielder's choice and moving Caitlin Kim up to second base. So good at bat as far as hitting the ball hard. And UBC is going to play it safe, much to Volk's chagrin, but it's the right thing to do. You don't want a player of that caliber getting hurt running the bases when you're on the last week or two of a recovery from a torn meniscus. So Shelby Kempel returns to the game. She'll run at first base, back in her original batting spot in the order. Caitlin Kim is on second. She reached by a walk. And this brings up Gabby Dorval. Now, Dorval is in the game. I want to figure this out, how this works with Olivia Molesky, because she caught the last inning Molesky did. So if Dorval's hitting, maybe they prefer Dorval's bat up in this situation, and that'll put her back behind the plate as the catcher for the final inning. I think that must be the case. So it seems like Dorval is the offensive choice. And there's a line drive. So it's hit so hard it's not going to score a run. She really ripped that ball and hit it so hard that the runner, Kim, didn't have any chance of scoring. So Volk and Gorval both hit hard balls to the left side, but neither produces a run. In Volk's case, the shortstop was able to get it and flip it to third for an easy out. And in Dorval's case, she hit the ball so hard to left field that the runner could not score. But it does load the bases for Arsh Barshwa, and she is no easy batter to get out. Arsh is batting .320 this year so far, 4 RBIs, a couple of stolen bases, drawn 3 walks, and always a tough out. As a matter of fact, I'm just double checking something. Yes, how about this? And I hope I'm not jinxing her. She has not struck out all season.
So there's no
She's
outs,
had 25 at-bats.
No outs, base.
No, the 1 out, the force out of third base. Barshwa lines at the center. I think it hit the ground. I think it's a hit. The umpire didn't make a signal. What's the call? Now the catcher trips the runner going into home. There's all kinds of stuff going on here. Let's figure this out. Was the ball caught or not? I did not see a signal from the base umpire, so the plate umpire is calling
An out.
At center field. Personally, from here, I thought the ball hit the grass. I'm not trying to be a homer, but they called it a catch because the base umpire just did not signal whatsoever. However, tagging from third was Caitlin Kim, so Caitlin Kim's run counts because she tagged up and scored. But when she was running on the inside of the line, the catcher went out to get the throw, and those two collided and both fell down. But nevertheless, whether it was caught or not, it's going to go down as a sac fly for her. She ripped the ball. It was a great at-bat.
There's 2 outs then.
Yeah, 2 outs, and again, runners on second and third, so everybody tagged.
So 2 outs, 2 runners on.
And Kim scored, yes. And this is Caitlin Eng, the first baseman at the plate. Super at-bat by Arsh. That run is going to be so important next in the UBC. You're facing one of the top teams in the conference, and every run counts. That makes the lead 4-1 for UBC. Caitlin Eng fakes a bunt, pulls back, and her swing was late, but that's kind of her own doing. You scored a bunt where really, I don't quite understand it, because you normally wouldn't bunt with 2 outs. And if you think you're decoying the defense, I think there's a trade-off because your swing is going to be late. That ball was only fouled by about 3 feet. Maybe she could have been more ready had she not faked the bunt. But she's going to do it again. Maybe she'll get back a little quicker. Now she's ready, and she hits it in fair territory, but the shortstop makes a good scoop, and the inning is over. However, UBC scores a huge run on an RBI. I think it was a single, but they called it a catch. Nevertheless, sac fly on the line out to center field. And so UBC now has a total of 4 hits. They have a total of 4 runs. And as we go to the top of the 7th inning, it's UBC 4, Eastern Oregon 1 with 3 outs to go in order for their attempt to tie it or take the lead. And that huge inning that Shea Sever had in the 6th, where she got the 6, 7, and 8 hitters out in a row. That brings the 9th hitter up to lead off this final inning, and then the 1-2 hitters follow her. So if Sever can ever repeat and the defense can help her out and get not only win the game by not allowing runs, but get the 1, 2, 3 hitters out, you won't have to deal with the 3 and 4 hitters that's exactly who Eastern Oregon would like to see get up. And if they are up, that means there's runners on base. So we'll see how it plays out. That 6th inning could have arguably been more important than this 7th inning, if you think like me. And I hope you don't, because sometimes I can overthink. All right, so let's look at this inning. In this 7th inning here, we are going to have True Merriman leading off. Note we're going to have a pinch hitter for Merriman. That's number 33. This is Carly Hanoski. Carly Hanoski will pinch hit for True Merriman, number 33, great number in Canada. Merriman struck out and flew out to left field. Carly Hanowski, why is 33 famous? To you U.S. listeners, and I'm sure there's families and friends tuned in from Eastern Oregon, 33 was worn by two former Major League MVPs who come from British Columbia. That would be Larry Walker, who wore number 33 his whole career, and Justin Morneau won number 33, a batting leader and an MVP. Morneau wore number 33 in honor of Larry Walker. So here we have a visitor to Vancouver honoring two Canadians. How about that? Are Larry and Justin tuned into today's softball game? Think they're home watching us? I don't know. I don't think Larry is. Larry's a little bit busy right now. He's coaching in the World Baseball Classic. And Canada plays their first game tomorrow, Sunday, against Britain. And then they got the Americans on Monday. So Walks might be a little bit busy, but maybe Justin Morneau's home with his family watching the UBC women's softball team. I hope so. Justin, good to hear. Good to see you there, if you are. That's a high fly down the left field line. It's foul at worst. And it hits the screen, so no chance for Arsh Bajwa to make another outstanding catch. Bajwa, key line drive to center field last inning, scoring that fourth run for UBC, which I insist is going to be very important. If not in the math, in the mindset of this Eastern Oregon, because now they're going to get 3 to tie instead of 2 in this final at-bat. There's a pop-up, it's going to go foul. Now we got Molescu back behind the plate, so I'm definitely puzzled on the excuse me, on the substitution rule, but I've been puzzled before, no big deal. Line drive to center field. And Carly Hanowski truly honoring the number 33 by singling up the middle, because that's what Morneau or Larry Walker would have done if they were here. Eastern Oregon, you don't want to give them an open door. They're now at the top of the lineup. Haley Tyree so far today has grounded a single to center field, popped to first base, and grounded out on an odd 1-4-3. That's a pop-up that should be caught by an infielder. No, in comes Ark. She's going to take over from the shortstop, as you would want to do. The left fielder is coming in, the shortstop's going out. You take it, left fielder, if you possibly can. Here's a big out right there. Maddie Stadler comes to the plate. We're going to see, unless there's a double play right here, we're going to see Eastern Oregon's number 3 hitter, and I hate to say it, but we're going to see their number 4 hitter if one of these next 2 batters gets to base. And Gales Leatherwood, the batter of the day yesterday, might have a chance to tie this game up with 2 runners around base. Another pop-up. That's called by Kim at second base. Nice and loud. She takes it herself. And UBC has 2 outs here in the top of the third with a 4-1 lead. At the plate are the 2 hitters UBC wouldn't want to see, the 3 and 4 hitters. This is Hannah Tyree coming up now, number 18. And on deck, Gales Leatherwood, who remember yesterday knocked in 5 runs. 6 runs altogether. She got the lone RBI in the second game, 5 in the first game. There's a pop-up that should be caught. It's shallow center field. UBC has won the series against Eastern Oregon. A first for the UBC program at their home park, Collings Field at Nobel Park. UBC celebrates a well-deserved victory, well pitched, well hit. They were trailing and they came back. And Eastern Oregon is going to go home beaten in a series for the first time this season. What an accomplishment by the Lady Thunderbirds. I hope you enjoyed watching it. It was certainly an exciting game. Quick review, the very first batter of the game in the top of the first was Haley Tyree. Single that wound up scoring when her sister knocked her in on a single. The third batter of that inning, and didn't score the rest of the way. That was because of the pitching of Lindsay Bell, who was relieved by Shea Seaver. Bell gave up 3 hits, 1 run. Seaver cleaned up the rest of the game, giving up only 1 hit. That was the leadoff single by the pinch hitter, number 33, says Canada. And but she was left on base with the power hitter of the day yesterday, Gales Leatherwood, not giving a chance to finish the game. UBC on the offensive side got things going finally in the fourth inning. Their second time through against yesterday's winning pitcher, Kaylee Hoskins, when Hannah Hansen led off the top of the fourth with a ball that was almost out of the park. It was caught at the right field foul pole. However, following that, Keona Nordquist singled, and then Shea Sever was hit by a pitch, making it first and second. Caitlin Kim ripped a single up the middle to tie the game 1-1. And when the throw went home trying to get the runner out, the two runners on first and second advanced to second and third. Mia Volk then pinch hit for Shelby Kemple, and with 2 strikes hit a sacrifice fly to right field, putting UBC ahead 2-1. And then Gabby Dorvell, who went 3 for 3 on the day, hit a single and knocked in UBC's third run. So they scored 3 in the fourth, and then in the sixth inning, Shea Sever led off with a ground ball to short. The ball stayed down and went off the shortstop's ankle. She was safe. Caitlin Kim, with pinch runner Avery Mossam, came on and ran for Sever. Caitlin Kim then walked, and Shelby Kemple, or Mia Volk again, batting in Kemple's spot, hit a fielder's choice. There was runners on first and second, and Gabby Dorvell Gabby Dorvell singled, loading the bases, and Arsh Barjois hit a scorching line drive to center field. Whether the ball was caught when the fielder dove or not, it was a great play by her. I thought it might have touched the grass before it went in her glove, but either way, they called it a flyout, and the base runner, Avery Mossop, was smart enough to tag up and score on that line drive to center, giving UBC a fourth run. Final score, UBC T-Birds 4. University of Oregon Mounties 1. UBC wins the series by a 2-1 margin. The first time they've beaten Eastern Oregon in a weekend series, and their first series win at home. Congratulations. We're so glad you joined us. Thomas Bell, thanks to you and this tremendous production you put on. As a person living in Ontario and living on streams, I appreciate it as much as anyone. And my wife Paula is happy to watch it today. So thanks again for all your help.
Let's watch some highlights from the game.
Sure. Let's watch them.
I was able to load a highlight reel.
Look at you.
Here we go.
Baseman followed by Hannah Hansen striking out. There's the grounder to second base, thrown out at first, and back to the bottom of the first. Grounder to third. That bat was broken in half. How about that? Force out at second, and the runner is safe at first. Boy, challenging the hitter with a beautiful fastball up near the belt, and the hitter just couldn't get her bat up to catch up to the speed of Lindsay Bell's fastball. In the first game, here's another pop-up called by the pitcher, and good for Lindsay Bell. Swinging and missing a changeup. Lindsay Bell with a 1-2-3 inning, using a soft stuff surprise to get out the one. And there goes the ground ball down the left field line. Left fielder did get over there quickly. Should have green. No, she bobbles the ball. So Gabby will get herself a double. So there's a fly ball to left. It's going to tail. It's going to be trouble. It is now caught by left fielder. Arsh Bob. There's a ground ball, might be up the middle. It's bounced off the shortstop chest. It's not in time. She's safe at first base on a high hop. I would give that ground ball up the middle. It's going to score the tying run. Here comes the throw. Here comes the slide. She's safe. And the runner at second goes. Caught. It's going to count for a run. That ball is caught. The runner tags, and another sacrifice fly from Mia Volk puts UBC ahead 2-1. That's the third baseline. And they're still playing way to the right. This one's hit to left field again. Thank goodness the center fielder hadn't moved over, because that puts UBC ahead by. Line drive up the middle. Off her glove to second. Will the relay go in time? It will. I think that would have been a hit had she not tried for it. Sometime. And Shea Sever combining for a 4-hitter. They did the same thing in the second game yesterday. Lindsay started the game and Shea closed it out for a 2-1 win. UBC came back with 3 runs in the fourth, 1 more in the sixth as an insurance run for a 4-1 victory. Big decisions made by Coach Jennifer McKellar, showing she's got a handle on when to do what. She pushed the right buttons today. Congratulations on that. And what a super event here. History being made. The first series win at Collings Field at Nobel Park, and the first series win over Eastern Oregon. And don't forget, they came in as one of the best teams in the conference this year. And UBC showing that you're going to contend when you face us. Thanks for joining us today. Thanks again to Thomas Bell for all the work setting up the cameras and these streams to the people watching. And Good luck the rest of the season to Eastern Oregon. Have a safe trip home. We're so glad to be a part of this conference, the Cascade Conference. It's an honor that you guys allow UBC to partake, and we hope to see you down the road in the playoffs. Thanks again, everybody. Have a great Saturday.